Philippines, His Excellency Ferdinand Romualdez Marcos Jr. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning and welcome to the National Information and Communications Technology Summit 2022. May we invite everyone to please remain standing for the singing of the Philippine National Anthem, which shall then be followed by the invocation. We may now all be seated.
The National ICT Summit this year could not have chosen a more relevant and timely theme toward a citizen-centric, inclusive, and sustainable governance. Let us begin. The National ICT Summit this year could not have chosen a more relevant and timely theme toward a citizen-centric, inclusive, and sustainable e-governance ecosystem. Let us begin this day by taking stock of the serious challenge that these words pose, for it demands from us, public servants and IT professionals, a resolute commitment to put our talents and best energies at the service of the public good, leaving no one behind, giving preferential attention to the weakest and the most vulnerable among our people. Aware that we can do nothing by ourselves without the grace and guidance of the Creator, we pause for a moment to invoke God's presence among us. Dear good and loving Father, the past 2 years of the pandemic has forced us to come face to face with the fragility of life as we witness the passing away of colleagues, friends, and even members of our families. But you have willed for us to remain and to continue carrying out the mission you have entrusted to us. And so we raise our hearts to you in gratitude for this singular privilege. We know, Lord, that public service is not a walk in the park. It is hard work, competence, commitment, integrity, sacrifice. Especially now, as we struggle to rise from the devastating blows of the COVID-19 pandemic, the global crisis and our own local realities, particularly the natural calamities that come with greater frequency and intensity, have caused devastation to homes and infrastructures, to lives and livelihood, and caused tremendous miseries to the poor. As IT professionals and government, we recognize our responsibility to harness the power of technology and to make its benefits felt and tangible in the day-to-day experiences of our people. And so, as we begin this year's summit, we thank you, Lord, and invoke your blessing to help us recommit ourselves to the task of nation building. Always remind us, Lord, that public service is a public trust for which we will be demanded full accountability. In these most precarious times, we ask you to journey with us and to lead us to the path that will bring our nation to the fullness of life that you.
Amen. To formally begin our program, may we call on Information and Communications Technology Secretary, Attorney Ivan John Uy, to deliver his welcome remarks.
Well, a pleasant morning to everyone. Your Excellency, the members and officers of the CIO Forum and CIO Forum Foundation. Well, I'd like to just open this session with a greeting for all of you. This is a long overdue assembly that we are all together again. It's been a couple of years that we've been constrained to just meet on screen. Indeed, it's a very refreshing time where we can now again shake hands and fellowship together. And today we have no less than the highest official of the land that is with us today. I can attest that he is a fellow techie. He is indeed a champion of our cause in causing digital transformation in the country, and that this will be a very significant event for all of us as we start our journey together in the next 6 years. And we look forward to the next couple of days as we embark on sharing information and sharing all the new things. We saw a lot of things out there in the exhibits. Explore and see how we can all work together, harnessing the power of technology in bringing about transformative and meaningful change for our country. And with that, thank you and welcome everyone.
Thank you, Secretary. Now, to give us a bird's eye view of the summit, may we call on the Chief Information Officers Forum Incorporated President and DBM Assistant Secretary, Larito Alejandro Magsino.
His Excellency President Ferdinand Marcos Jr., Chairman George Quintanar, President Cynthia Topacio, and members of the Board of Trustees of the CIOF Foundation, fellow members of the Board of Trustees and members of the CIO Forum, here and online, our industry partners, guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Each year, the Department of Information and Communications Technology, the CIO Forum, and the CIOF Foundation hold this NICT Summit as the culminating activity of the ICT month during the month of June. This year's summit, though, is held this month to give way to the start of this new administration and for us to have a feel of the general direction the President wishes to steer the whole of government. To everyone's delight, the National Information and Communications Technology Summit, which we now hold this 26th and 27th of October at the Manila Hotel, provides the venue for the country's information and communications sector to come together in unity to heed the call of the President in his first State of the Nation address last July 25, 2022, for the country's digital transformation. We heed the President's marching orders for the whole government to be transformed into an agile, transparent, accountable, and responsive bureaucracy, delivering to our countrymen their most urgent needs and improving their lives. Thus, in pursuance of the President's vision, This NICT Summit has adopted as a fitting and timely theme toward a citizen-centric, inclusive, and sustainable e-governance ecosystem. Various facets of our e-governance ecosystem shall be touched in this upcoming plenary talks and panel discussions. We have our beloved DICT Secretary, Ivan John Uy, who will give us a picture of the state of our Philippine e-government and how the entire ICT sector will move forward, the road ahead. This will put us all on the same page. The country's digital transformation will not be possible unless all of us in the industry, both public and private sector, move in the same direction. Standards, harmonization of efforts across government, streamlining of citizen-facing and administrative processes, data governance, upskilling of the digital workforce, and the legislative framework. Thus, we shall hear from the undersecretaries of the DICT of their specific plans and programs, and from our various industry partners from the private sector on their support and collaboration. We will also have a glimpse of the ICT regulatory outlook from the viewpoint of our lawmakers, Senator Grace Poe and Congressman Toby Chanco. And we shall cap this summit with a signed statement of support, collaboration, and commitment to the call of the President for government digitalization, and digital transformation. Nothing sums this up more than the words of Mr. Sabina Boitis in his opening speech at the New York Stock Exchange on September 19, 2022, with reference to our President, Ferdinand Romualdez Marcos Jr. And I quote, "This is why we work for him, because he listens to reason and gets things done, because he has the humility to seek the help of those who know more, in order to provide help to those who need more. This is the kind of decisive, action-oriented leadership we have in our country today," Sabina Boitis concluded. "And this is the kind of inclusive and collaborative leadership that will transform the Philippine economy into the next big thing in Asia." And borrowing the words of the late President Ferdinand Edrelin Marcos Sr., "This nation shall be great again." Salamat at mabuhay po tayong lahat.
Thank you very much, Asset Kamsi. At this point, to give due recognition to our awardees, may we request the President to lead us in the presentation of awards. He will be assisted by our stage party. First, this Outstanding Achievement Award is presented to Attorney Ivan John Uy of the Department of Information and Communications Technology in recognition of his continuing leadership in advancing the digitalization and modernization of government operations and processes. Congratulations, Secretary Uy. Second, this Outstanding Achievement Award is presented to Commissioner Lilia Guillermo of the Bureau of Internal Revenue in recognition of her continuing commitment, dedication, and leadership in the government's digital transformation efforts. Congratulations, Commissioner Guillermo. And finally, this Outstanding Achievement Award is presented to Mr. Henry Ruel R. Aguda of the Union Bank of the Philippines, lead of PISAC Digital Infrastructure, in recognition of the transformational leadership he continues to demonstrate. He is represented by Mr. Jose Paulo Rufo of Union Bank. Congratulations, Mr. Aguda. Thank you, Mr. President. And again, congratulations to all of our awardees. At this juncture, may we request once again Information and Communications Technology Secretary, Attorney Ivan John Uy, to introduce our keynote speaker.
Ladies and gentlemen, His Excellency President Ferdinand Romualdez Marcos Jr.
You mustn't applaud me that much now. I have to perform to earn your applause. But thank you. Thank you, Information and Communications Technology Secretary Ivan John Uy, the Chief Information Officers, Foundation Chairman George Quintanar, the CIO Foundation President Cynthia Topacio, and the Bureau of Internal Revenue Commissioner Lilia Guillermo, the industry partners, exhibitors, and participants to the 2022 National ICT Summit who are virtually present here with us this morning, my fellow workers in government, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I'm sorry that we were a bit delayed, and I hope we did not delay your breakfast too much. But I could not help but go through all the booths and all of the displays that we have available to that we are presenters here in this ICT conference, and it's really gratifying to see that every time we come to this this technical a gathering of technical the technology experts. It is really interesting to see that even if the last time you did it was 6 months ago, you come to this new one, and the way that the technology progresses is just absolutely remarkable. And we see now where you do not need a coder, you do not need an engineer. People can do their packages that are available, that you can build your own software, you can build your own app. And the point that I'm really making is that clearly the opportunities are there. The opportunities are out there. It is up to us. I think it is fairly clear that it is the private sector that leads the technology, that innovates most quickly when it comes, especially for most things in commerce, but for the most part, especially in the tech industries. And it is up to us who are in government to learn these new technologies, to learn these new techniques, and to take full advantage so that those of us in government are able to provide the best possible services that we can to our people. And that is why the partnership, I think Ivan mentioned that 80% of our audience here today are the CIOs from the government, and the rest are from private sector. And that is, for me, critical if we are to succeed in digitalizing our bureaucracy, our government, and to make the way that we do business, the way that we work, the way that even we communicate with one another, to make it as efficient, as streamlined, and as affordable as possible, so that we can provide that extremely important service. And so that partnership, in terms of investment, in terms of infrastructure, we keep talking about public-private partnerships. Well, it turns out that even in the sector of information and communications technology, those partnerships are not a business partnership, but I suppose it is a sharing of technology, it's a sharing of knowledge, it is a sharing of the state of the art from the private sector with the public sector, and that working together that will bring us to success. So it is I'm very happy to be here with you at this National Information and Communications Technology Summit. Unfortunately, when we look at the records, our country has ranked 89 out of 193 countries in the United Nations eGovernance survey. And that is not an encouraging number. This survey assesses the digital government landscape across member states. And this assessment of our performance is, at the very least, worrying. We experience actually a regression. In other words, other countries have progressed. We have not progressed quite as much, and therefore have fallen down the list of e-governance in our different member countries of the UN. And that this happened even though many innovations and technologies in ICT are open and widely available. But clearly, we will do better. Our ICT professionals are among the best in the field, and Filipinos are among the most tech-savvy people in the world. There is essentially nothing holding us back. This summit is therefore correct, is apt, is timely. For what we will discuss here will be instrumental not only in improving our global standing, but most importantly, securing the Philippines' place in the future. I thank the DICT and all our summit attendees for answering the call to find a holistic approach in harnessing the various technologies for the Philippines' digital transformation. It is my hope that the summit will result in actionable proposals towards a truly citizen-centric, inclusive, and sustainable e-governance ecosystem. Moving forward, we will become more adaptive to fast-changing developments. And in this endeavor, I speak once again of a cohesive public-private collaboration, and I find that this is necessary. So let's work together to optimize the opportunities provided by ICT for nation building. During the pandemic, it was clear that the private sector led the way in employing technologies and innovations that deliver faster and better results to its stockholders. There is nothing holding government back from adopting these improvements to perform better in its tasks. In the same manner, there is also a need for the public sector to work and partner with the private sector to encourage growth, promote investment, make sure that private enterprise acts in the best interest and welfare of the general public. To achieve this end, we are committed to realize the vision of a digital Philippines. We will achieve this by enhancing the country's digital infrastructure, improving the regulatory framework for innovation, ensuring cybersecurity, and developing the country's digital workforce, amongst other things. The government will also facilitate the swift passage of the e-governance and e-government bills, and I am happy to report that at the last meeting of the LEDAT, which is the liaison body between the executive and the legislature, this came up, and it looks like that the e-governance and the e-government bill will be consolidated, but they are working on it, and I have asked them to bring it out as quickly as they possibly can so that we have the framework with which we will digitalize our government, which we will digitalize our bureaucracy. And it is not something that we choose to do. It is something that we have to do. We are already playing catch-up in terms of digitalization to the rest of the world. So it is not as if we have a choice here. We don't have a choice that maybe we'll do it, maybe we'll not. No, that simply does not. It is simply not the way that the modern world works. We have to digitalize if we are going to keep up. All our plans for the transformation of the economy and our continuing redefinition of the Philippines' place in the community of nations, all of that depend upon your work. And that we are able to do all the important work that we are trying to achieve. And that can only be done if we have a digitalized government, a digitalized bureaucracy, a strong partner with our private sector in terms of the technology industries. So this is something that whatever obstacles we may find before us, we will overcome because we need to do it. So these the bills that we have asked the legislator to pass will enable to ensure fast, transparent, and efficient government service for the Filipinos. I therefore call on all our servant leaders in Congress to help accelerate the approval of these bills once again. As I said earlier, there is nothing that I can see that should hold us back from getting the future that we want. We have the tools, we have the knowledge, and most importantly, we have the people. All that is left to do is to have the will and the resolve to achieve it. So I reiterate my call to our partners. Let us forge ahead, build a better, brighter, more progressive future for the ICT sector, for the bureaucracy, for the entire Philippines. Thank you at mabuhay kayong lahat. Magandang umaga po sa inyo.
Thank you, Mr. President. Let us give the President a round of applause. At this point, may we request the President to kindly grant us a photo opportunity in 3 batches. For batch 1, members of the Chief Information Officers Forum Board of Trustees. For our batch 1, may we call back on stage our members of the CIOF Board. Batch 2, please prepare. Thank you, Batch 1. Batch 2, members of the Chief Information Officers Forum Foundation Board of Trustees. You may now proceed on stage. Batch 3, please prepare. Thank you, Batch 2. Batch 3, Principal Sponsors. You may now proceed on stage. Thank you, Batch 3. Thank you, Mr. President. That concludes our program. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, His Excellency, President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. Thank you, Mr. President, for joining the National Information and Communications Technology Summit 2022. We would like to request everyone to please remain seated until the President has left the venue.